So I can remember myself, Wisdom, the other Wisdom, and Clement. There were times where we had to share maybe like 20K, all of us, or 30K. And we used to, walk out of some one room in Cuba, close to the market that time. And then it was interesting because you are expected to maintain some level of, if you are coming to ask for like a 20 million job now, you need to appear like somebody that can execute a 20 million job now. And it's not because you can't execute it, but just your appearance due to lack of capital that you should normally have, even if it's in terms of salary, right, for your working capital. It wasn't there. And it was mentally tough for me, especially because unfortunately at that time, a part of my self-esteem was tied to how much I could spend. So it was an interesting time. But what I think is that due to, if we had additional capital, even if it was for marketing alone, let's even assume I'm not even talking about working capital for salaries or for staff. If it was for marketing alone, cold calls, email marketing, etc., and some kind of marketing budget that afforded us to go speak to people without thinking about whether we can afford the T bill or anything like that, we would have had an easier time. So it was a challenging time. I don't know if I'm depicting it well, but it was more of a mental challenge, especially for me, than it was a physical or any other challenge. I guess another challenge would have then been the kinds of clients that we got at that time. So we struggled for a bit, especially towards the end of 2018, beginning of 2019 through to August of 2019, in the types of gigs that we got. So we got production gigs, photography, videography gigs that were very low priced at that time. Most of them were well below 150, 100K. And then you then had to think of how you're going to get to the place. So are you going to fuel your car? If you are going to go on public transport, is your equipment safe? So it was just a lot of permutation. And then what you find out is that the money that you've collected for the gig, you've spent it in executing the gig. So we then needed higher profile gigs or a different type of income stream that is able to allow us to execute at profit. So I would say it's sad that both of them tie back to money, but those are the challenging ones. I think that people believe that feeling that it will not work is a bad thing. It's not. It means that you understand there is a risk that you're taking, and if you go screw, well, that's what it is. But you need the risk element to be able to gain a little. So every single day, every single time we're in the office, other people are affording themselves lunch, and we have to look at ourselves and swallow spit until we're able to get to Cuba, where Wisdom's parents were, so that we can get some, nourishment for our body. All those times, I was definitely thinking that this is not what we're supposed to be doing right now. We should probably go and get jobs and get capital to then come and do this thing, But there's how a positive intent will be interpreted, especially when you're doing things in a group, that you will not only demoralize the other people, but you kill the potential of that business just by voicing out what you've said, And it's not toxic masculinity. It's not saying that if something is not happening. And we used to say, are we sure we're doing the right thing? What can we do better? But there's how you say it that you discourage everybody. And I personally don't want to be the one to discourage a great thing from happening. So yeah, I personally thought about it every single day if I was doing the right thing. I suffered mentally. Like I just kept suffering. I'm not a motivational. I'm not going to say, by the work or that I said some prayer or whatever is a lie. I was feeling down every single day. How did I manage to do it? Is that it's like mathematics. If you add 1 to 1, it is 2. So if you already know that, okay, today you send out 10 letters, you have a design to do. So I was the person that was doing design and some business development. You have some design to do, you will do the design now. If I have the ability to do design, I will do it. I will open my Illustrator and work on it. If there's anything that I don't know how to do, I'll open my YouTube. There's internet and stuff. So while I was doing it, yes, I was very discouraged a lot of the times. But there's no formula for how to pass through it. You just do it. You have the things that you're going to do. You wake up, say your prayers, do your confessions. We always used to do confessions those times. And then you go and do it. You will have bursts of inspiration where maybe a client's response to you, or there's a prospective job that might come up and you might get, and then you have bursts of motivation and inspiration where you are happy and you now believe that, okay, this thing can work. If you are like me, you can catch some of that thing and put in your pocket. And when things are going the other way, you can remove small and eat and be happy. So, but there's no fall. You feel down is that you feel down. You just need to show up every day. I left Engage as like a proper staff of Engage to like a sort of non-executive director role, and then went to work in finance for 4 years and came back. I think that those struggles, first of all, will tell you the kind of person that you are. So I'm a safe person. I like stability. I like a sense of stability. I'm not trying to be adventurous. I'll be frustrated if I do it for a while. So what that taught me about myself is that in running or establishing a business, I must have plan B and plan C, right? So it will teach you a lot about yourself in terms of who you are. A lot of people think that to buy private jets and all those things is what they want. And then they have the private jet and then it's not what they want. And then some people think that the only way to make money is through entrepreneurship. But people in paid employment are making more money than you that's been an entrepreneur for 10 years. So it teaches you, doing it, especially early on in your life, teaches you who you are, number one. Number two, any kind of adversity, any kind of challenge that you come out of, it thickens your skin. There's something that I saw where they said, good times bring weak people who bring bad times, who then bring strong people who bring the good times back. So it's always just a circle, right? You can't know good without experiencing bad. And you can't know bad without experiencing good because you need something to compare it with. So those things, how did it thicken my skin, towards the challenges? If I tell you that I know them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'll be lying. But what I just know is that when I got into my next job, because of some of the things that I had experienced, what other people were complaining about was a non-issue for me. Like, okay, you need to work overnight. Okay, been there, done that. We've done all this work and then now you need to switch it over. Okay, been there, done that. So because I've already done it, I have muscle memory that just helps me do it seamlessly. So I guess that would be a point that I will make. But I guess the other ones are more mental than physical things that we can't talk about.